You really be able to hear as well? Have you started? So, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Dobermann here from London, and I'm an economist with the International Growth Centre based here at the London School of Economics. Sorry that we had a few technical blips here and there, but we're up and running. We've resorted to a bit more of a old school setup, but this should be great. So joining us today is Professor Jeffrey Sachs from Columbia University. And we're really honored to have him join us. And as we all know, he's a tireless advocate, advisor, and thinker on sustainable development issues. And I use the word tireless because I'm not quite sure yet if the sun is up where you are, Jeff. So thanks for joining us.
Not quite, but a good way to wake up today.
Great. So the focus of our conversation today is all about energy, not only in its role for economic growth, but also in the place it has for sustainable development. And we'll be looking at comments online. I'll try to pull in some questions if we can. But to start, Jeff, I'd like to first look back. So from the very beginning, from the harnessing of fire to the steam engine to the nuclear chain reaction, we know that energy's had significant consequences on our lives, and you could say both good and bad. But how has energy shaped our economies? What has the historical role of energy been for economic growth?
I think the physicists are very clear that energy and quality energy is needed to do work. So if we want to produce and thrive, we need energy, and that means that each step of the technological ladder that we've been on as a species in terms of energy mobilization has been a step on the path of economic development as well. Some anthropologists define the ability to use fire as the real breakthrough of the human species. You mentioned that. Wind in the sails was fundamental for creating the first age of globalization with the age of discovery, so-called, after Columbus and Vasco da Gama's voyages. I have no doubt that it was James Watt's steam engine that was the pivotal technology of the Industrial Revolution. The internal combustion engine of Daimler and Benz in the 1870s brought us the oil-based economy. The gas turbine brought in natural gas, so we've been running on coal, oil, and gas now for about 200 years, increasingly. And then we recognized, at least the visionaries among us recognized more than a century ago, that fossil fuels, while phenomenal for industrialization, were going to change our very climate. This was the understanding of Svante Arrhenius, the great Nobel laureate Swedish chemist in 1896, who first published a paper showing that we would have human-induced climate change. Well, now we're in the middle of very, very dangerous and damaging climate change from carbon dioxide emissions. So we have to take the next step on the technological journey. We have to move to zero carbon energy, and we have to do it very, very quickly.
Absolutely. So we know that energy has been transformative, and as you mentioned in your response there, that it's come with consequences, these negative externalities, both globally in the form of climate change and global warming, but also locally in terms of greater particulate matter and air pollution. And so maybe, can you tell us a bit more about how can we combat these externalities, but even beyond that, transition towards a system that doesn't generate these negative externalities at all?
The energy transformations till now in human history have been more or less based on technological changes driven by invention and market incentives. James Watt, working at his laboratory or tool shop in the University of Glasgow, wanted to make money by improving Newcomen's steam engine. So Watt was profit-driven. He spent a lot of time defending his patents. He changed the world. The difference today is that we know that our current energy system, while extremely effective in supporting global scale production, is now extremely dangerous. And so we have to take a conscious, coordinated set of actions globally to change the energy system almost overnight, in the sense of within the next 30 years, decisive change. This is something different. We've never done energy by design quite this way. And we need to do this now because our backs are to the wall, or maybe a better analogy is we're standing right at the cliff, because of the huge threats coming from human-induced climate change, and especially the rise of carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere. So most climatologists would say we have an extraordinarily limited amount of time to still remain anywhere close to some safety on the climate, and also to avoid runaway climate change. I would put it at 30 to 40 years to fully decarbonize. That means going essentially to zero carbon energy, electricity generation, and electrifying in one form or another all of our energy uses. In other words, go to wind, solar, hydro, nuclear, maybe some modest amount of carbon capture and storage, and go to electrification of vehicles, heating, many industrial processes as well. And we have to do this consciously. We have to do this globally, because this truly is the commons. Our CO2 goes into the atmosphere and is uniformly mixed with the CO2 emitted from every other part of the world. And so we have a true collective action problem at a global scale.
And so, in reference to a recent commentary you wrote, you paid homage to Aristotle, who contrasted two different types of knowledge, the technical know-how and then the practical wisdom. So would you say that it's more now the latter? We have the technical know-how, it's really about implementation and providing and kind of implementing these types of solutions around the world.
Well, thank you for mentioning Aristotle. I always like to have Aristotle in my day. But I would mention another aspect of Aristotle, including his theories of knowledge, and that is his theories of politics. Because Aristotle, in the Politics and in the Nicomachean Ethics, said that politics was collective action for the common good. The idea was that the polis, the city-state, would aim for the thriving of its citizens. And we can contrast Aristotle's view of politics with Machiavelli's view of politics, of course, in The Prince and his other great writings in the 1510s, 1520s, when Machiavelli talked about politics as just about power. We need an Aristotelian politics for our survival right now. We need politics for the common good, not politics for power. And the problem is, of course, our political systems are mostly about power right now, because our politicians have lost the Aristotelian, if they had it, the Aristotelian sense that they're there for the common good. And the reason I emphasize this is that while there are major technological challenges ahead, how to make electric vehicles more user-friendly, how to get smart grids, how to do energy storage of intermittent energy sources. Probably the biggest challenge we face right now is the resistance of the fossil fuel industry and the inertia of politics and society, when we have instead to make a major change in a short period of time. Our politicians are Machiavellians. They're trying to cling to power. They get bought by the oil and gas industry, especially in the United States. We have a huge amount of corruption. The Republican Party is essentially owned by the oil and gas industry right now. The two Koch brothers, the two gazillionaire Koch brothers have bought up the Republican Party, along with other friends from oil and gas. And so we have politicians that are still promoting fossil fuels. Of course, we have a president who is a rather unstable character. I think he's a psychopath myself, who is actively trying to maximize CO2 emissions from the United States, wants to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement. So this is the reality that we face. Our politics are not working properly, and society is suffering. And it's not public opinion, at least not in my country. At least 70% of Americans know we're in danger, we need to move to renewable energy, but their voice is not heard when you have a Trump and a Republican Party in the hands of the fossil fuel industry. That's our big challenge right now.
Yeah. And so what, if we're thinking about those countries, that many of the countries which the International Growth Center, for instance, would work in, they're still grappling with the fundamental challenge of ensuring access to electricity, let alone trying to transform their energy systems to cleaner forms. How can they address this challenge? And in particular, I've seen online, Emily from London's asking, what can local governments do to try to encourage their countries to develop on a sustainable development path?
I think one of the really great things, actually, is that the poorest countries in the world, almost by definition, have been countries without fossil fuel resources themselves, and seemingly rather barren in terms of energy. But they are now potentially, many of them, energy powerhouses because of photovoltaics, concentrated solar thermal, and all of the other technologies to harness solar energy. I'm thinking of the Sahel, for example. I think of countries like Chad or Mali or Burkina Faso, Niger, that are very, very sunny. They have extraordinary solar energy. And this could be tapped not only for mass electrification in these countries, but actually as a major export product as well. There are many well thought out engineering designs for integrating Europe's energy needs with the Middle East and with Africa into a large scale renewable energy based system. Our technologies now allow for microgrid, mini grid, national grid, regional grid, even very long distance, potentially worldwide transmission of renewable energy. China has a vision and a program called the Global Energy Interconnection, and an organization called Global Energy Interconnection Development Cooperation Organization, GICO, which envisions a worldwide grid of renewable energy, including tying the countries where you're working, the poorest countries, into a worldwide network of renewable energy. So I think this is actually a very positive development. I sometimes call it revenge of the deserts, because now the deserts, which and the savanna regions that have been left behind in development because they didn't have oil, gas, or coal, now have the potential to leapfrog with cleaner technologies and with smarter technologies, because you link the solar with smart grids, you link it with low-cost electric mobility, and we have the makings of big breakthroughs.
Terrific. So clearly from this conversation, we see that there's many possibilities to really quickly and quite significantly move in this direction. So I think it's a lot of hope and optimism for us to take away today. So I'm afraid that's the time for now, but it's been a really great conversation. Thank you, Professor Sachs, for joining us. And
always a pleasure. See you soon.
great, thanks so much. And to everyone who's joining us, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure. So feel free to leave any extra comments you had. Thanks so much. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.